Okay, so this afternoon we are going to be looking at the other two operations that we haven't yet dealt with directed numbers. So last week we looked at adding and subtracting, and we looked at all the different rules that apply to those scenarios. But this week we're going to look at multiplying and dividing directed numbers. Now there's some good news and there's some bad news. Okay, the good news is that multiplying and dividing directed numbers is easier than adding and subtracting them. Okay, because there's only two rules to learn. And all of the scenarios obey those two rules. Okay? The bad news is that once you've learnt those two new rules, some people start applying them in addition and subtraction as well and getting a mess there. So you've got to be really careful and make sure that you keep both processes completely separate. So we're going to look at multiplication here and we're going to look at division here. What were some of the scenarios that you can have when you're multiplying two numbers? What are the different options that you can have?
It could be 5 times 2.
So positive times positive, well done. Yeah, we've got a positive number multiplied by a positive number. Okay, so everyone write that one down. That's our first scenario. What's our second scenario?
A negative times a negative.
Right, well, we'll put that at the... Can I come back to you? Well, actually, no, let's put it next. That's okay. We'll have a negative times a negative. Okay? Negative times a negative. Tian. Positive times negative. So positive times negative. And then the last one, Hula?
A negative times positive.
Well done. A negative times a positive. So there are 4 scenarios for multiplying. Okay. Dividing.
A positive divided by positive.
A positive divided by a positive. Absolutely. So positive divided by a positive. What's our next one? Sam?
A positive divided
Well, let's look at this and keep them kind of the same.
Okay. Negative divided by a negative.
Well done. A negative divided by a negative. You know me, I'd have to have them in the same order. I couldn't possibly not have them in the same order. Eddie?
Positive divided by a negative.
Positive divided by a negative. Good boy. Positive divided by a negative. And then the last one.
A negative divided by a positive.
Perfect. A negative divided by a positive. Now, we are going to do some examples with actual numbers, but we are also now just going to look at the rules. So, there are 2 rules, okay? Really simple, and they're the only 2 you need to learn. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Now, do you remember when we were adding and subtracting the numbers? If we had a positive and a negative and we were adding them, could you definitely say, well, the answer is going to be positive or the answer is going to be negative? No, you couldn't, could you? What did it depend on, Valdu?
It depended on the numbers.
Depended on the numbers, that's right. This time, doesn't matter what the numbers are, okay? The rule applies. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. The signs are different, the answer is negative. So, let's go through them. It's pretty easy, really, because we know what we've got to do. Positive and positive. The same or different?
Same.
So what's the answer going to be?
Positive.
Positive, yep. Negative times a negative. Same or different?
Same.
Same. So positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So that's also going to be positive. Positive times negative. Same or different?
Different.
Negative.
Negative. That's right. Negative times positive. Same or different?
Different.
So the answer's going to be?
Negative.
Negative. That's right. Okay. Right then. Pretty easy so far. Positive divided by positive. Same or different?
Same.
So the answer is going to be
Positive.
positive. That's right. Negative divided by negative.
Same. No, positive.
Positive, that's right, because the signs are the same, so it's going to be positive. Positive divided by negative.
Different.
Different,
Negative.
so it's going to be
Negative.
negative. Okay, and then negative divided by positive.
Different.
Different, so the answer is going to be negative, that's right. So they are all the different 8 different scenarios for multiplying and dividing. And all of them obey that rule, okay? So you don't need to worry about, well, is that number bigger than that one? You don't need to worry about any of that. They all obey that rule, okay? So, has everyone written this down?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to rub it out then. And we're going to do a couple of examples for each one. So, let's do A, B, E, F, G, H. Okay. So there's your first 4 examples. Okay, so write these ones down. 6 times negative 7. Negative 3 times negative 3. 6 times 2. Positive 8 times negative 3. Now I've actually put the positive 8 there. So what I'm going to do, I am actually going to put the positive sign in for the rest of the numbers. So that one is a positive, isn't it? They're both negative, so not. That one's a positive, and that one's a positive, and that one's a positive. So let's rub it out and I'll put it in red because it's going to trigger me that it's in black. Okay, so would I normally write those signs? No. Why not? Sam?
Oh, I'm saying a different thing. Wouldn't it be the adjacent sign?
Ah,
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
Adjacent, very good question. Well done and very well remembered. Adjacent signs don't apply for multiplication. Okay?
Yeah.
Those rules apply for multiplication. And that's what happens, you see. People learn the multiplication and then they forget and go back. So what I'm going to do, when we get to this one, I'm going to talk you through something to show you the common mistake that people might make. But really good question, well done. Okay, so the first question, I've put the little positive sign, which we normally wouldn't have because it's the
Default.
default. Well done, it's the default. So, question A. Now, my advice is deal with the sign, then deal with the numbers. Okay? So don't worry about the numbers at the moment, just look at the signs. We've got a positive and a negative. So are they the same or are they different?
Different.
They're different. So that means that our answer is going to be
Negative.
negative. So put your negative sign. Okay? Now you can deal with the numbers. 6 times 7, Tom? 42. So your answer is negative 42. Okay. Negative 3 times negative 3 are the sign. So hands up. The same or different? Sam?
Same.
The same. So my answer is going to be
Positive.
positive. Now I am going to put positive this time because both of them are negative in that one, so I need to do it. So we've dealt with the sign. Now we deal with the numbers. 3 times 3?
9.
9, not 6. 3 times 3 is 9, not 6. Now, when people do the addition, say that was negative 3, add negative 3, the most common mistake is that people then think, oh, it's 2 negatives, so they make a positive. So it must be 0 or it must be 6. And they get in a real pickle because they've forgotten what they learnt in the addition and subtraction section. So they are both negative, yes, but they're not next to each other, are they? So there is an adjacent sign in that expression. So what do we do? Negative 3 plus negative 3, what do we do?
We cancel out the addition.
Well done. We take out the addition and then it becomes negative 6 to make it more negative. But when it's negative 3 times negative 3, our answer is positive. Okay, positive 6 times positive 2. The same or different? Same, so it's going to be positive 6 times 2, 12. That's right. Okay, positive 8 times negative 3. Let's deal with the sign. Positive and negative, same or different? Different. So our answer is going to be, Jonah?
24.
What's the sign going to be? Negative. Then 8 times 3 is 24. That's right. Okay. Right, let's do some division ones. Okay. So again, I'm going to put the little positive signs. So there's one there, none there, there's one there, and they're both there. Okay? So E then, positive 15 divided by negative 3. So positive divided by negative, same or different?
Different.
So the answer is going to be negative. Okay? Now you do the numbers. 15 divided by 3.
Negative 5.
Negative is 5, that's right. And we've dealt with the sign, so it's negative 5. Okay, negative 25 divided by negative 5. Negative divided by negative, same or different, Ben?
Same.
So the answer is going to be
Positive.
positive. Okay, 25 divided by 5?
5.
5. Okay. G, negative 20 divided by positive 4. Same or different?
Different.
Different, so my answer is going to be
Negative.
negative. And then what's 20 divided by 4?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Okay, and then the last one, positive 60 divided by positive 12. Are the signs the same or different?
Same.
So the answer is going to be positive. 60 divided by 12,
5.
5. There we go, so a nice little pattern there. Negative 5, positive 5, negative 5, positive 5. Okay, thank you. Stop there then.